Thanks for putting me behind John. I thought he was going to wrap it up for the night. You know, it doesn't seem possible, but it's 50 years, almost to the day, since a nervous young man from Marquette came to Michigan State. And now you got a nervous old man back at Michigan State. I'd like to take things backwards, if you don't mind. Dr. Underwood, Karen Langland, and your staff, thank you so much. The selection committee for making it possible for me to be here. I've had some terrific years every time I came back here. I've come back as often as possible, most of the time for the banquets with the Blue Line Club. And I want to compliment Ron Mason and his staff for the program that they've developed. AMO started it many years ago after Babe Paulson gave it a little shot in the arm to begin with. But between AMO and Ron Mason, you've built Michigan State hockey into one of the greatest hockey dynasties in college hockey. You know, a lot of people don't realize it, but Michigan State is probably the only Division I top-notch hockey school that has had only two coaches in the last 50 years, and that's AMO and Ron. The only other school that I can think of that has had only two coaches is Army with Jack Riley and his son. But 50 years of excellence, and we didn't give them a very good head start for those first 4 or 5 years, but AMO and Ron have built the program into probably the best program around. But now I'd like to drop back 40 years. I finished playing in 1960, and I married the girl next door, my wife Helen, and we raised a family of 3 boys, and they all had to put up with all the time I spent in building rinks and following hockey throughout the country, and especially in Michigan. Sometimes we were able to supply some players to Michigan State, but not as often as I would have liked because there was a lot of competition for the Michigan players at that time. In the 50s, those were my years here, the first 4 years of the 50s, 51 to 55. I came down with AMO after AMO had coached 3 of my brothers at Michigan Tech, and my money that is still up at Michigan Tech that I sent in for registration, but AMO said, come on, we're going down to Michigan State. Well, we had some terrific games, 0-0 tie with Michigan on Friday and a 2-1 loss on Saturday. That was a great weekend of hockey, and you sure got a lot of experience in a hurry. That experience and confidence allowed me to play with the national team for 5 years. And fortunately, I was coming up at a time when we also had some outstanding players at the other colleges in the country. The Clearys, the Mayasiches, the Merediths, the Johnsons, all good hockey players that we played against. And finally, we got to play with each other, and we won a couple of medals. But most of all, and of course, I've got to thank AMO for bringing me down here and for supporting me all those years, and also for keeping a little bit of guidance so that I could keep on a relatively straight and narrow. But growing up in Marquette, Michigan, back in the 30s, in a family with 9 boys and 2 girls, I'm the youngest. I brought up the rear. And like the brothers always remind me, the talent goes from the top to the bottom. But they all played hockey. They all were good skaters, but none were better skaters than 2 sisters, Verge and Ruth. Verge, my brother Ted, Mark are here to join me. We're the last 4 left, and I was glad they were able to come and join us tonight. You know, we had one terrific family experience. Mark put together a family reunion back in 1966 when the 9 of us boys and 6 of the nephews played an exhibition game in Peoria, Illinois for the March of Dimes. You want to know who's on a dream team? That's when you're on a dream team. Thank you.